Here are 7 gadgets every photographer and filmmaker needs in their camera bags. You've probably heard it a lot already, but it's this small camera tool from SmallRig which can most of the time save your life. So inside this box you have the SmallRig camera tool. You have your flat screwdriver for mounting your tripods, mounting your cages, and any other screwdriver you will ever need. And it's all inside of this little tool, small and compact. And on one side you also have 6 holes for some screws if you need them fast. And the build quality of this thing is also very strong, and if you drop it sometime it will probably never break on you, so that's another big plus point of this thing. Every professional videographer has a rig camera in use from time to time, and there is obviously some cable management that needs to be done. And to prevent cables from flying everywhere around your setup, these little guys come in. They are from a small company called Sprig, and these are some small cable management clips you just clip in your holes of your camera cage, your top handle, or anywhere where you have these little holes, and they can obviously be switched around, so you can pop them in or pop them out anywhere where you want. And then I also have these little knots, but they are a little bit more protruding than the Sprig clamps, but they do the job as well. Alright, the next thing is this little tripod from Joby, and it comes in handy more often than you would think. This tripod is very versatile because it has this little moving legs that you can move with these ball joints, and you can obviously use it for any spaces where you can't set up a regular tripod. You can set it down on like trees, on railings, any stuff like that where you want to wrap your tripod around and want it to be secure. Or if you don't want to use it as a normal tripod, you can just use it as, let's say, like a vlogging setup to extend your arm. If you want to do that, that's obviously possible. And this ball head should support any of your DSLMs or DSLRs. Mine has a load of 3 kilograms, I think, but there's also a model with 5 kilograms, so you should be good to go with any of these. Alright, this gadget I've used most of the time just for photography, but it can also be interesting for any of you videography guys out there. This is a camera clip that goes either on your left side or your right side of your backpack strap and screws down with just these 2 screws, but it's pretty secure on there. Then you have a quick release mechanism where you have this normal quick release plate, and you can slide it in right there, and then it's secure, as you can hear. And there's also a safety mechanism built in, which is if you screw down this screw on the top right here, then the quick release system is locked and you can't push it out. It's very useful if you want your camera ready to go in just a few seconds and not having to get out of your backpack, lay it down, fish around in it to get to your camera. You just have it on your backpack strap right there, and just in a few seconds you have it in your hand. But one negative point I found out is that it was tearing on my shoulders from time to time, because it was this heavy weight with the camera and with a lens on it that was just too heavy after some time of use. And that's where the next gadget comes in, which I replaced it with. Okay, so I replaced the camera clip with this Peak Design strap. It's a normal strap for a camera which goes around your shoulder, and it's much more comfortable to wear than the camera clip after 2 to 5 hours or something like that, because the weight is much better distributed around your whole body and not just on one spot like with the camera clip. And like any other Peak Design product, it has these buttons that can slide in, I guess. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I also got this camera hand strap from Peak Design. I haven't used it as much as the strap for my upper body, but if you want to use it from time to time, it's not a bad product, so you can definitely go with that one as well. But I think it's more of a safety precaution, let's say, because it just works like a normal hand strap for any digital camera you have, and it's not as comfortable to wear because you always have to hold the camera in your hand because the strap is so short, so that's not really working for me, but maybe for you. Alright, next up is this little RGB LED light from Yilangu, but if you type it in on Amazon, there are a bunch of brands that distribute this kind of product, but it's very useful not only for YouTube videos, for a key light, but you can use it for video thumbnails, you can use it for photography, you can use it for product photography, and obviously, as the name says, you can set it to any color you like, and you can set the color temperature from 2500 Kelvin up to 9000 Kelvin. And there are also some pretty cool modes on there which you can choose from if you want to have anything special in your scene. And it can be charged via USB-C, which sadly isn't that common nowadays, but more and more products have it integrated, and yeah, I'm happy that they have it in there. And of course you get the normal camera screws, you have one on the bottom and one on the side, and you get a cold real mount on the top. So many possibilities to mount it to any of your setups. And now when I mention these once again, but I've already done a separate video on this, I will link it somewhere up here where you can watch the whole video. But these macro filters are a very good alternative if you can't afford a macro lens, or if you just don't want to buy a macro lens yet and just want to go with these filters. You can choose from a 2x magnification up to a 10x magnification, and they just screw on like any other lens filters you have. But there is one thing that you should pay attention to. The higher you go with the number of the magnification, the more you have to increase your aperture, meaning you have to change it to 8, 11, 16, whatever looks best, because you have to get more of a shot in focus when using any kind of macro filters. And of the price of this pack of 4 macro filters, this was pretty much a no-brainer for me, and maybe it's something you'd like to try, and you can pick them up as well, of course. Alright, if you want to start making YouTube videos or want to know how to get a good lighting setup, then check out my latest video where I have a completed guide of a 3-point lighting setup. And leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.